Hello and welcome to Living and Loving Each Day. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. My name is Susan Jansen, and the name of this podcast, we're rebranding it a little bit. It's called Living and Loving Each Day, Bridging Barriers. And I'm happy to be your host today. And in this podcast, we want to dive into inspiring stories of resilience and support and transformation. And each episode that we want to bring colorful conversations with parents, with experts and advocates who are breaking down barriers, any barriers that we face. And I have a lot of parents who have children with adaptabilities. But we also talk about parents and also adults who are facing barriers in their lives. And I'm even thinking about the barriers that we face as we get older, some of those transitions too. So it's a broad range, but we're really happy that you're here and to meet my beautiful guest today. So today I'm excited to introduce you to Wilma Grobbelaar, and she's a remarkable nurse of over 34 years, and she is sitting in South Africa, which just amazes me and just brings me joy. I just loved even the thought of that. And she's bridging barriers because she's gone across diverse fields of healthcare, including general nursing, midwifery, oncology, and community health. So Wilma's career is anything but traditional. And she's also spent 2 decades pioneering a coaching-centered approach to nursing education and supporting nurses with compassion and breaking away from conventional methods. We've got to ask her more about that today. So in 2003, Wilma took a bold step into the energy medicine and consciousness-based healthcare, and she's become an international instructor. I'm so proud that she's here with us today. And she's been transforming lives through a holistic approach. And her insights into bridging the gap between traditional healthcare and energy medicine provide invaluable tools for anyone looking to connect on a deeper level with those that they support. So Wilma's passion is all about empowering others to embrace self-discovery and growth and helping them to overcome personal and professional barriers. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Wilma, so all the way from South Africa. Thank you for being here. Hi.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for inviting me to your lovely podcast.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate the work that you do and your discussions that you have with people.
Oh, thank you so much. This is so great to have you here. I want to just ask you to just give a little bit of background so that the audience knows a little bit more about you, what you'd like to share your story, and how you are transitioning to what you're doing today. And just tell us a bit about that too. We want to hear all about that.
Thank you. Well, I grew up on a farm in South Africa, in the middle of the country, in a very dry area. And from there, I went nursing. And while I was doing nursing, I got these 7 qualifications. But I was always very interested, although it was so technical and so scientific, and I call it the hard energy.
I'm sorry, did you say hard?
Yeah, hard energies, because treatments are not easy. It's in hospitals and in healthcare. It's not easy. And especially if I think of cancer, because I was also in charge of a cancer hospital. And there, I always wanted to have something for my patients that's softer, because to me, that gives them the hope. Because if we think, for instance, of chemotherapy, of radiotherapy, I call it harsh, because it is not always easy to go through those treatments. So that was really where I I had a room, for instance, and I negotiated with the financial manager that I didn't want him to charge any of the practitioners. So anybody that could do massage or Reiki or reflex offered could use that room so that my patients could have that treatment if they so wish, because it is just, that extra something very soft and nurturing for them.
Oh, nice.
So that was a very big thing for me. And of course, I never practice any holistic thing myself. I would sometimes after work, if they're there, I would book in and I would go for a session. And I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. But it was really after I left nursing that actually was a lady from Canada that
Ah,
came to, yeah, she was invited to come to South Africa in 2003, and there was the second time that she came, and I went to listen. And at that stage, I already left nursing, and I worked with children in motor development
uh-huh.
because I wanted to do something for them to prevent learning problems. And
Okay.
it was during that phase of mine knew that I was to go for a preventative approach with learning problems, that they don't get to the Ritalin kind of stuff, you know. And then I went for this talk that this lady came to do, Beverly Lutz. She was actually from Calgary.
Oh, okay.
And
My province. That's my province.
yeah, yeah. And I was sitting in that talk. She was talking for an hour and a half, but within 20 minutes, I knew I've got to get this money. Next weekend is Easter weekend, and I've got to be on that course.
Ah,
And this is now 21 years later, and I
wow.
am still in, and this was called Body Talk. So it is an energy medicine, but especially consciousness health. So we bring the story to the client. So if I have something wrong with me, what's the story behind that?
Yes.
What is that story behind that? Why am I having that? And so the body can heal itself. The body can heal most things. The body heals on a 24-hour basis, everything that's happening in the body. So we've got this huge, huge inner knowledge, or we call it the innate wisdom. But some it gets behind here in my mind. You know, all our thoughts, all our beliefs
Yes.
can derail that process, can really
So
derail that
true.
process.
We're our own worst enemy, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now, of course, so I was the first instructor in South Africa and the first advanced practitioner. And then, but during this time, all my clients, or most of the clients, they always had stress. You know, the stress was always the thing. Student always a stressor somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I want to do something for myself of what my own thing is. And I want to work with women with stress
Wow. That's a large
because,
segment of people.
yeah,
That's a large population. Yes. Okay.
yeah, because I feel women are creators, you know. I haven't got children this lifetime, but if you just think everybody who has got a child, you created that human being. And so
Mhm.
we are very much creators. And if we know how to manage stress, we can change the world.
Oh my goodness.
You
That's a
know,
huge
in 2020, with the COVID pandemic,
yeah.
the World Health Organization declared stress as the the epidemic, the global epidemic of the 21st century.
Mm, I believe it.
Mm.
And
And
what
unfortunately,
yeah, and what is
sorry.
there what helps us with that stress? I think that you can answer that question. Like what can we do with all that stress that everyone is facing?
I think the
Like
number one thing is self-care.
yes.
Self-care. And women are not very good with that
Uh,
because women are so, just the nature of women, we are so giving all the time. You either have a family or doesn't matter in what situation we are. But the female, the woman is in the caring position and it's the giving. And so often we forget about looking at what do I have to do to really be there for who I am giving, to be there for my family, to be there for my work. And that takes actually decision, and it's a big responsibility.
It is. It's a
Yeah,
mindful choice that they're making.
absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, mindful choice. And the thing is, if we're not willing to do that, we can literally go down one way, which is not a good way. And
Yeah.
because stress is the number one thing, it's so well researched. I've just listened to just forgotten her name, at a podcast ago, and she's an American professor, and she said stress is the reason for all illness, and I
Uh-huh.
believe that. All
Wow.
illness is because of stress, and I absolutely believe it. And I feel if we don't do something about it, becoming aware of what we can do for ourselves, and
Mhm.
it's sometimes a small habit that we've just got to start, because we've got a range of self-care, but sometimes we just start with one thing
Mhm.
and then do it
Oh,
consistently, because it's also with something new. It's not We're not going to get the reward immediately. It
mhm.
is for the long-term effect. We really have to do things for the long term, and that's where the mindfulness come in. If
Right.
I'm mindful about it, I'm not, James Clear with Atomic Habits, he's so
Yeah.
clear about it, where he says, we want to do a habit, but we want a quick result. And it
Always.
doesn't, yeah. If it's not quick, because we can buy a house on a Sunday, we can furnish the house on a Sunday, we can say, no, I don't like it as well. But it is that thing is so instant, and we think that we want take something on, but we must have an instant result, and it's not going to work like that.
No.
So
No.
it is that real. I think for me, it is that number one is the
Yes.
mindset that we have to change,
Yeah.
and then look, okay, what is it for me? Because for you, it may be very good or number one for you to start journaling if you don't. For somebody else, it may be actually to start walking,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
For
So you
somebody
have to
else,
yeah.
yeah,
You have to find out what it is. You have to be self-aware enough to find out what it is for you. And like you
yeah,
said, it can just be small baby steps and just be consistent with that one change. Just, eliminating sugar or that's a pretty big change though, isn't it? But
that,
but what other examples can you give us? Like that would be really like in this short time we have together that we could maybe make it an impact on our lives to reduce
I
the
think,
stress.
yeah, I think communication. I
Mhm.
think to be able to communicate with somebody that you trust, somebody that will listen. That doesn't have to, mustn't give you what you have to do, mustn't give you the results, or mustn't say you have to do this, but a friend, a good friend, or somebody that you can look up to that's just listening, or just listen. And, you can just call somebody and say, oh, if you really got that good friend that will get into the car, I'll come and sit with you while you're in the dark pit, if while you sit, I'll sit with you, have the bucket of ice cream with you, and we don't have to talk. But it is communication is for me very, very important. And then other things like, for instance, like a massage, or have something looking after the face, have a facial, have a massage, and definitely depending on what we eat, because stress is so related to, now for some people they won't eat, they just lose weight, they get nauseous if they're really
Oh,
stressful. Other people will eat more and they will
yeah.
put on weight. The stress eaters, the emotional eaters. And so that is, it's a huge thing, huge thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So how do we fix all this? How do we stop eating and take care of ourselves? So take that time, that deliberateness and that mindfulness to really take care of our own selves. What's the first thing we need to do?
I think to first understand that we are stressed, and to understand or to identify how does how does my body behave when I'm under stress. And I mean, they can go on my website, they can download it for free.
Oh, good.
That's there.
Good. Thank
And
you.
it is about, for me, that because sometimes we just carry on, but we actually don't actually know that because I've got bad digestion, it's because of my stress. Because I
Yes.
can't sleep, it's because of my stress. Because my foot taps like this, the leg goes like up and down. That's
Yeah.
because of stress.
Yes.
And I'm snappy, you're just snappy. That's you are stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole list of those things. You can, for instance, have skins. For instance, for myself, if I am stressed, I will get like a bit of it's called urticaria, but I will get it on my upper arms and my lower legs.
Wow.
Now, when I get it, it's a message for me. So I said, okay, Wilma, what is it about that you're fearful about now? Because I know it's fear related. It's fear.
Okay.
It's something that I may lose something. There may be a loss, or I'm worried about something. So I'll
Yeah.
just go, okay, what are you fearful about now? That means
Yes.
I'm now must give it attention. What is it, and what can you do about it to clear that? So
Mm-hmm.
the body really speaks to us, because what happens in the mind is pushed down the body.
Yeah.
And then the body gives us a symptom or gives us a sign. It's
Yes.
because the body and the mind, they always thought it's two different things, but it's not.
No.
It's actually one. It's
It's
actually
all
one.
connected. It's all connected. Our
It's all
thoughts and
connected.
yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely all connected. And
Exactly.
I think it takes it's work. It's to work on ourselves, but the biggest thing is to be aware.
Yes.
But we must say, I mean, there's different words. We talk about consciousness. I prefer not to use that word because there's a lot of connotations to it. I prefer the word awareness,
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm aware, then I must become aware of what I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like what I said, I'm becoming aware that my skin is giving me a symptom.
Yeah.
So I'm now aware of the symptom. So now I must do something about it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't. We need to and to be open to it. Like I when I in some of my talks, I talk about being expanded or contracted. And when we're contracted,
Mm,
and we're
mm,
stopping anything positive coming into us because we're just in that state. And usually that's when we are under stress. So it's being no
yeah.
and identifying, saying, okay, I am stressed out. What am I fearful of? What is going on? Asking yourself those questions. Some people don't like the answers, but I think
Yeah.
if you do take that time to actually really take care of, because you're number one, you're really important, and each
Yeah.
one of us has a gifts that we want to share and that we want to be helpful and to serve other people. And so if we're
Mm.
more aware of what we need and we take care of that first, I think that's so important. So important. Wilma, do you do like treatments, like specific treatments for these people for the stress related
Yeah, I do. I mean, you can interesting because it's called the body talk session. So it's like now I do since COVID. I do most, and because it's very effective. And the interesting thing is what I've got. What I would like to share with you is at the moment I've got a client. She's got cancer, and she's going through chemotherapy, and she's doing actually very well. So I will do a session for her 2 days before she has a treatment. Now, because I know the cancer treatments, the chemotherapies, I know which part of the body is, or which organs are the targets that must be protected. So we will
oh,
energetically protect those organs, and then she has it. But the other thing that's so interesting was I suggest her if she's willing to do some fasting. Now we know that with chemotherapy, one of the big things, of course, are the nausea, those kind of things, with the chemotherapy. Most of the chemotherapy drugs. And she was absolutely going for that. So I said, well, let's try. She must try. So because I had the information that from other people, that if they don't eat at all the day of the chemotherapy, they don't get nauseous, no side effects.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so she started it, and she did the day before. So I will do the session for her. And
Yes.
then the day before the treatment and the day of the treatment, she doesn't eat at only water.
Okay.
Fantastic, fantastic. She had no side effects whatsoever.
Wow.
And she
Well,
will
that's.
only start then with fluids the day after the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So, those kind of things are very rewarding, of course, for me and for the client, if they're
Yeah.
prepared to do it. But
Yes.
with Body Talk, you can help anybody. I mean, I've worked with children, I've worked with people with highly stressed, of course,
Yes.
people with relationships, people within work don't know where they must go in their work anymore. Any of those kind of things, we can work with that, because that's all stress related in any case.
A lot of my audience are parents of children with adaptive needs, and my granddaughter, my daughter had a baby, and at 8 weeks old she had near SIDS. So she was revived, and we prayed for that, and she was revived, and she's now 12, but she has cerebral palsy and cortical vision impairment. So her occipital lobe and parietal lobe were damaged, like the lack of oxygen. So she's really our joy. Like we see her a lot, and she's doing really well. But she can see colors and light, but she can't see us. You know.
Mm.
So, so if you have a child like that, is there anything that you have that you could offer to children
Yeah,
with those kind of
I
medical
yeah,
needs?
I actually I actually would like to to teach people cerebral palsy. The Olympics, the Paralympics.
Yes.
I'd like to be there. I'd like to do Body Talk and all of those athletes. To me, they are the true heroes.
Mhm.
But in any case, to come back to you with your daughter, with your grandchild, there is actually a course. That 1 day course that I'm teaching is a course where you do 5 techniques. You just simple techniques. I mean, it's the brain balance.
Yes.
It's another balance that helps with stress. And then there's hydration. And then there is the immune system balance. And it's literally, you can do it within 10 minutes, all 5 of them.
Wow.
And
Okay.
if a parent can do that on their
Yes.
children, and especially on that little one,
Yes.
or she don't know how big she is now, but in any case, doesn't matter if they're small or they're big.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Because
Okay.
it's very generalized, the energies that is balanced within the body.
Nice.
Very, very generalized, but it's excellent.
Awesome. Well, that's so nice to know that there's options, because there's a lot of parents who are listening who really feel like they've done everything that they could possibly do, that
Mm.
they're aware of. So that's why I love my program, just so I can get this word out to people, so the parents
And
can hear.
also for themselves, because I think always a parent that has got a child with special needs, they also need something.
They need self-care, that
Yeah,
100%. Yes.
yeah. And
Yes.
by doing something like that, they can. It is just they get calm. I mean, I can show you a balance now if we've got time. I can show you the brain balance, and for anybody that wants to watch it. But it is really just to calm the brain, and that's one of the 5 techniques.
Wow.
But otherwise, I can always let you know when I have a course like that, and they can join, or something like that.
Good. How long does the brain balance take? How long? How
Oh
many
no,
minutes?
Have we got 5 minutes?
Well, we should let this podcast go extra long if you want. Sure, we should do that, and
Yeah.
then we'll sign off, and then give the let everyone know your web page address so they can get in touch with you, and that'll be in the program notes as well. So don't you worry. So let's do this.
Okay.
Let's see what you
Okay.
tell me.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use our hand. The one we've got both. We're going to tap with the one hand, and the other hand we're going to put behind our head there.
Okay.
And we are going to walk with our hand towards our eyebrows. So like that will be 1,
Oh, I
2,
see.
till we here. So let's start at the back, and you're going to just breathe in and out deeply, and I'll take us through it. Okay. And with
Okay.
the other hand, you're going to tap over your head
Okay.
like that, lightly, as if you would tap on a baby's head. And then you're going to breathe in and out deeply. And then you're going to tap over your heart on the breastbone.
Okay.
And then you are going to tap over your navel, over your belly, the 3 brains. Now we're going to take our hand to the second position
Okay.
and take
Do
a
that.
deep breath in. Just breathe in and out. I'll walk us through it. Tap over the head. And you're focusing it. You're balancing the brain that's underneath your hand, that part.
Mm-hmm.
Tap over the heart. Tap over the navel. Now, the next position. And keep breathing. You're balancing your own brain, the part that's under your hand. Tap over your heart and tap over the navel.
Okay.
Now, next position. Now, my hand is in my way. I tap on top of my hand because just energy.
Okay.
Just energy. Just breathe. Keep breathing. Tap over the heart and tap over the navel.
Okay.
And now, till we get above the eyebrows,
Mm-hmm.
keep tapping, keep breathing. Just nice breathing in and out. And we're balancing the front part of the brain now.
Mm-hmm.
It's under my hand. Tap
That's
over the heart,
the parietal lobe there.
over the navel. Now we're going to take both hands. We're putting it next to our head with the fingers pointing to the back.
Okay.
And that is the limbic brain. That's the emotional brain. So we take one hand away and we tap. And just get all those emotions out that we are so overwhelmed. Tap over the heart, tap over the navel.
Mm-hmm.
Now we put this hand back and we take this one and we tap, just focusing on the emotional brain. And we tap over the heart and we tap over the navel.
Okay.
Voila. What does that feel like, Susan?
Whoa. Well, it's relaxing. It is relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
It's calming. I feel that.
That is the number one balance that you can do on your on your granddaughter, on
Oh,
anybody, on else. You do exactly the same, but then you just focus that you balance their brain.
okay.
Okay, you balance
Awesome.
their brain.
Oh,
It
cool.
calms the brain completely,
Mm.
and it will, in an emergency, if there's an emergency and you see blood, and you do this over and over,
Yeah.
you will see the blood stop in front of your eyes.
Wow. Okay. Because you're slowing it all
Yeah.
down. That's why, right? It's not.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, the brain has got the program of exactly what my body must look like, all the cells in my body, and how they must function.
Mm.
And so, but the brain gets overwhelmed very quickly, actually.
Mm,
So, because the brain sends the nerves to the body, and it's the nerve always coming back to tell the brain what it's like down there in the body. Is it
mm,
warm? Is it pressure? Is it pain? Whatever is there.
yeah,
But when the brain is in overwhelm, it can't get the messages. It just can't read the messages in a way. But if
exactly.
I balance the brain and I calm the brain, oh, is there pain? Okay, let me just tweak here. Oh, something not right. Okay, this must.
Okay.
So this, if you do this in the morning for yourself, in the evening before you go to bed, fantastic. And you will, if you do on your granddaughter, if you do it in your granddaughter when you see her again,
Yes.
you will see the difference.
Uh,
You can let me know.
I
You will
will.
see the difference.
Well, I hope everybody did that with us once you were listening to this. And thank you so much, Wilma, just for that. I feel calm already and nice. This is so good. Thank you so much. If you want to do that free test that Wilma has on her webpage, and that will her webpage is in the program notes. So you could tell us as well if you'd like. It's Do you want to do that right now? Do you want to just share your webpage?
Yeah, it's just www.changelifecoach.com.
Change Life Coach, exactly. And we were calling this what's a Change Life Coach. Now you know what a
Yeah,
Change Life Coach is. So everybody, thank you so much.
changelifecoach.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That will be the program notes for sure. So thank you for joining us today on Living and Loving Each Day, Bridging Barriers. And we hope that you feel inspired and supported and ready to do whatever comes your way and just to get over those barriers because we're with you here. You're not alone. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. And we're building this community on this podcast and on the webpage, suejansen.ca. And I hope that you become a member, and we're opening up our community to just have more people come in to like a private community, so we can especially get all of us together to have a conversation. And so thank you again so much for joining us, and please feel free to go to suejansen.ca and log in and support and share all of Wilma's stuff too. You're beautiful from South Africa. Thank you so very much for being here today. Really appreciate the time I've spent with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really am honored that you've invited me and that I could share what I shared with you. And on the
Oh,
website, there's more free things. There's a journal they can download, whatever they want to download, there's
good.
available for them.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very generous. So thank you so much. So thank you everybody for joining us. And we went over today. This is awesome. I'm so happy